Today, we're going to talk about a tool that is so powerful it can completely change how you think. It's the one fundamental rule behind any good argument, whether you're just debating with a friend or you're in a high-stakes courtroom. We're talking about the burden of proof, and trust me, once you get it, you'll see it everywhere. You've been there, right? You're deep in a discussion, things are getting heated, and then they hit you with it. Well, prove me wrong. It feels like you're trapped in a corner, doesn't it? Well, what if I told you that's not a real argument? It's actually a logical trap. Let's break down exactly why that little phrase can just completely derail a conversation. All right, so to really understand why prove me wrong is such a problem, we need to get to the heart of the matter. What is this burden of proof anyway, and why do people call it the golden rule of making a claim? At its core, it's actually really simple. The burden of proof is just the responsibility to back up what you say. If you're the one making a claim, putting a new idea out there, then the job of providing evidence to support it is on you, period. It's not on anyone else to disprove it.
And you know what? We do this all the time without even thinking about it. Imagine your friend texts you, "Oh my God, I just saw a huge celebrity at the grocery store." What's your first instinct? It's probably, "No way, did you get a picture?" You're not expected to go down to the store and pull security footage to prove they didn't see them. Of course not. The burden is on your friend to back up their wild story.
So, it's when we forget this simple, everyday rule that arguments just go completely sideways. And that brings us right to the main event, the prove me wrong fallacy. This is such a common mistake, but it's a critical one. Okay, this slide breaks it down perfectly. On the left, you've got the healthy way to have a discussion. Someone says, "I believe X is true, and here are my reasons why." Simple, right? But on the right, that's the fallacy. Someone says, "I believe X is true," and then they throw the burden of proof to you like a hot potato, saying, "Now it's your job to prove I'm wrong." See the trick? They're shifting the focus from proving to disproving.
This pops up all the time with really extraordinary claims. Take UFOs, for instance. Someone says, "I saw a UFO last night." But instead of offering up clear video or radar data, they flip it and say, "Well, you can't prove it wasn't an alien spacecraft, so it must have been." They're asking you to disprove every other possibility in the universe, which is totally backward.
We see the exact same pattern with stuff like psychic abilities. Someone might claim they can read minds, but instead of, actually demonstrating it in a testable way, they put the entire burden on you. They say, "I challenge you to design a perfect experiment that proves I'm not psychic." Again, they're making you do all the work to disprove them. Now, this is where it gets really sneaky, especially with conspiracy theories. The claim is that a secret group runs everything. But then the lack of evidence is twisted into proof. The logic is they're so powerful and so secret that they've erased every single trace of their existence. The fact that there's no proof is the proof. It creates this perfect little loop that you can't break, and then they demand you disprove it, which is literally impossible. Okay, so this isn't just about winning arguments online. This idea is so important, it's actually one of the foundational pillars of our entire justice system. In a courtroom, understanding who has the burden of proof isn't just academic, it's a matter of freedom. You've heard the phrase, "innocent until proven guilty," 1,000 times, right? Well, that phrase is the burden of proof in action. Think about it. The state makes the claim, the accusation. So the burden is entirely on them, the prosecution, to provide the evidence. If they can't provide enough proof, the default position isn't, "Well, we're not sure." The default is innocent. The defendant never ever has to prove they're innocent. And it's not just the courtroom either. This same rigorous standard is absolutely vital in fields like science and medicine. There's a famous saying that sums it all up. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. So in all these really important areas, the burden of proof acts as a crucial filter. A scientist can't just say they discovered a new planet. They have to show the data, and other scientists have to be able to verify it. A drug company can't just start selling a new medicine. They have to conduct massive, rigorous trials to prove it's safe and that it actually works. This principle protects all of us by making sure that big claims, especially ones that affect our lives, are held to a really high standard. So what does this all mean for you in your day-to-day life? Well, it means that understanding the burden of proof isn't just some dusty old rule from a logic textbook. It is a practical tool. It's like a superpower for clear thinking that you can use in any debate or discussion. If you only remember one thing from all of this, let it be this simple phrase right here. He who asserts must prove. That's it. The responsibility always, always stays with the person making the initial claim. Just burning that one idea into your brain will protect you from so much bad information out there.
So the next time you hear a big, bold claim, whether it's on social media, from a politician, or even from a friend, I want you to change the first question you ask yourself. Don't ask, is that possible? Instead, ask the most important question of all. What's the evidence? Asking that one question before anything else is your single best defense against being misled.